Wasn't that many.
Oh, that's true.
With all the mining that's going on, I mean, that was like 20.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good percentage given the hundreds of thousands of people that work in mining.
And only two people in this state.
Yeah.
Hang on. All right, you can introduce stuff. Well,
I'll run the intro.
Oh, all right. Well, we're still already live on YouTube.
Well, hey YouTube. we're always live on YouTube before I intend to be.
I remember there was
get your mic.
Oh, whoops. Ha. Oh, darn that thing. I remember there used to be a live stream I liked where they would actually have like a live, instead of like a graphic intro screen, they actually had they had painted one.
Yeah.
And they would occasionally people would jump in front of it and dance.
Nice. That's real fun.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're live.
Yeah, on both streaming services.
Yeah, so you can find us obviously here on, well, I shouldn't say obviously, it depends on where you're at, but we're on Facebook right now at the Archaeology Podcast Network Facebook page, so facebook.com/archpodnet.
Yeah.
But we're also on YouTube at
Happy Archaeology Fun Time.
There you go. So search that.
Yeah.
Go like the channel. It should give you notifications when we do stuff like go live.
Yeah.
So,
hopefully.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure we actually have audio. I see it all working, but you never really know.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Video output low. YouTube not receiving enough video. Oh well, whatever.
Yeah. Also, your game was way down, so nobody could hear what you were saying.
Oh, well, they could hear me over here.
All right.
Well, sorry.
Archie's gain is up.
Hang on. My gain is also low over here.
You'd think we'd done this 62 other times, but you never know. So, hopefully they're still here, but hey, Jeremy Burnett.
Oh, wait. That name sounds familiar.
He works down at Los Altos.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I see him at conferences. He's always at SHA, helping out with the tech room.
Oh.
Mark Silver from the world-famous Reno Composite Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol.
Oh.
Public Affairs Officer. He's here. And I see Chuck Hutchison. Liz Davidson joined.
Oh.
Remember
hey,
Liz?
Yeah.
How's it going, Liz? So, anyway, nice to see you guys. It's the Independence Day edition, except it's not Independence Day. If you listen to this in the future, it's the day before. Although it's a normal work day for me tomorrow, because my wife's going to go in and work. She's going to bank the holiday. So I'm just
Oh.
going to work it because we're leaving on Friday for 8 days in North Carolina.
Ah, wait, you're working tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to be editing podcasts. I don't know if it's going to be in here or not.
Oh, 'cause
Yeah.
tomorrow's going to be like my first day where I haven't done anything.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a day where I haven't done anything in a really long time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean maybe some camping days, but not very many of them. Gonna try to meld some camping with some field work in 2 weeks though.
Ah.
I got another small project from this company we've both worked for in the past,
Yeah.
and they said that I could probably do it on Saturday, which is good because I wasn't sure if my wife could get Friday off, and now she doesn't have to because they said it would be, from an access standpoint, it's okay to do it on Saturday.
Huh.
So I think we're going to drive up. It's in Northern California, which is really cool area that it's in. I think, I don't know, I know the county, but the county's massive.
Oh,
so
wait, where is it?
Shasta County, and that's all I can tell you
Oh.
because that's all I know. But anyway, something up there. Liz says, "Hey, gentlemen," and Jeremy says, "Hey." So nice to see you again, Liz, even if it's
Yeah.
just your words. Unfortunately, video podcast streaming is not two-way.
Well,
At
it
least-
depends.
Yeah, it depends on what you're on. Yeah. Ryan Scott just joined. So
Yeah.
Ryan, get that CV in. You know what I'm talking about. I did mine late after the prompting.
Oh. Oh my god.
Might be able to talk about that if it happens in the future, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's nice to be able to combine things because it's just a
Yeah.
small project I got to do.
Yeah.
Recording 2 sites. Again, I haven't seen any of the literature, so I don't know how big
Yeah.
the sites are or what they are,
Yeah.
whether they're historic, prehistoric, next to each other.
Yeah.
Literally no idea. But
That's not the important part.
that's not the important part. The important part is we can go up on Friday, camp up in Forest Service land
Oh.
somewhere, or find some good camping, and then go do some work on Saturday, maybe even camp Saturday night,
Oh.
and then come back Sunday.
I was going to say, that's
so-
also not the important part.
What's the important part?
That stuff.
We'll talk about that in a minute. So, anyway, I'm definitely going to use that stuff that Richie's pointing to off camera. But yeah, so we'll go from there. I'm wondering if we should shut these lights off if these
Oh.
are doing the film because I'm getting real blowout on the light here.
Oh, wait, that actually
Yeah,
works a little better for
you,
me.
you actually look pretty good on that one too. Oh yeah, that's not too bad.
Oh, good. That's
We're a
lot
little
better.
darker, but yeah.
Oh,
so-
wait, now I have to readjust.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think, I think it's really cool to be able to combine things like that, because I think that's what makes this job pretty awesome. Is you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you get to do stuff like combine your activities. I mean, who else gets to go say, hey, I'm going to work, but I'm also going camping with my wife or my husband or something like that with my family. And in the meantime, I'm going to go make $800.
Oh, true.
So
Or who else can say, like, I'm going to be hiking around the woods. Oh, you think so?
well, I don't know. It's just the shadows are really weird back here, so maybe I'll just
Yeah.
put that in the middle or something.
All right.
It's almost too bright.
Oh, darn. Well, now
Yeah.
I need to reconfigure. Anyway.
I know. I know. Anyway, so that's really cool. And then again, speaking of combining things, because I know Richie's dying for me to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh.
I work in a co-working facility, and there's a lot of times when I'm talking to somebody and I'm realizing, listen, there's something I do that I can help you with, and there's something you do that you can help me with.
Yeah.
And I love trading services. I mean, it doesn't make anybody any money, it doesn't pay the bills, but it could. I like trading services in a way that level up my company a little bit. Like, for example, I'm talking to somebody later on, probably in a few weeks, about marketing and social media and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've been doing this a little bit for the Archaeology Podcast Network, but it's somebody that might want a podcast, and I can help them do a podcast.
Ah.
And so, because they don't know anything about it, but they want a podcast. And I'm like, so if I can trade services, again, it doesn't make either of us any money, but if
Yeah.
it levels me up to a point where I can start monetizing a little bit, then that really helps out. So along those lines, we changed our whole hosting platform on the Archaeology Podcast Network, and
Oh,
allows
I
us
remember
to do, yeah, I think I've talked about it before, but it allows us to do really targeted, tight advertising on our
Yeah.
entire catalog, not just current shows, but on
Yeah.
our back catalog. So because of that, we're a little more attractive, and I started reaching out to more people from an advertising standpoint. And one person, Matt Alexander from Anatom Geomobile Solutions.
That's a really long name, by
I
the
know.
way.
He actually somehow got connected with WildNote, one of the people at WildNote, and they turned me on to him and said, hey, he might be a good person for you to talk to just in general. And then I
Yeah.
talked to him. He's a really super knowledgeable guy about GIS and GPS, and can talk about it in a way that doesn't make you feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then we did an interview in the Archaeotech podcast. So go look at the Archaeotech podcast. It's a couple back now, but it's the interview with Matt Alexander about GIS. And then we started talking, and what his company does, they're out of Portland, they sell and rent full GIS field packages.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get like a Pelican case with an iPad, a GPS receiver, instructions on how to use it all, and full access to, collect their version of Collector, or you can use your own. And you can just go out and record stuff, and there's no Trimble, there's no anything, and it's probably about the same cost.
Oh, and the reason why they have their own version of Collector is so that they can do make you maps, isn't it? Or something.
Yeah, well, that's how Collector works. You can kind of put a skin on it, and then do whatever you want, so they can actually set that up for you. It's probably an extra cost, but if you already have Collector or ArcGIS Online, and then you're using Collector, you have an ArcGIS Online account, you can log into your own on there, and then just go from there. So, and the one reason you still have to use apps like Collector, even though you've got like a external sub-meter GPS, is that something I'm realizing, because I've used apps, I've used external GPSs in the past when I was just kind of testing them, that would actually, and I've been telling people this, and I have to stop because I've just proven it wrong with like 3 different tries here. I've heard that it's supposed to replace the coordinates on your device. Like if you're using it with an iPhone, and you go into some other app, your coordinates will now be at the accuracy of the thing that's Bluetooth to it.
Oh.
Doesn't seem to be true. And the only reason I can say that is, well, it might actually be true, but I have no way to prove it, because I went into 3 different applications that I have for mapping that have an accuracy listing. That it lists the accuracy of the antenna it's receiving.
Yeah.
And it was listing the accuracy at like 32 feet, which is pretty typical for, an iPhone or something like that.
Oh, well, it depends. Some apps will not allow you to not the average. They do the average between the
right. And I'm not talking about averaging a point. I'm just talking about sitting there, not even taking a point. What is the accuracy of your GPS signal?
No, that's what I mean. Like they force the app to use the phone GPS.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. If they don't allow you the choice to switch, or it's not taking it automatically, then that's an issue. So since I can't prove that it was using the sub-meter GPS, you got to use an app like Collector, and there's a number of them out there, but none of them are free, I don't think. But you have to use something like Collector, where you can go into the settings and then say, use this antenna.
QGIS has Q Field.
Yeah, it only works for Android.
Oh,
Question is, will it take external GPS?
Actually, I don't
because
know.
It would be in your settings for your antenna, and that setting might not even show up unless you're Bluetooth to a device that has it.
Wait, we can test this out at some point.
Well, while Richie's looking at that, what I want to show you guys is, again, I traded for advertising on the Archaeology Podcast Network, and I wasn't even planning on this, but I just offered it to Matt at Anatom Geomobile Solutions. I was like, listen, I like what you guys are doing. I think you're awesome. I love your blog posts. I mean, you guys are not just trying to sell GIS equipment, you're trying to teach people about it, which is I really appreciate. And I said, so let's talk about promoting you on the Archaeology Podcast Network. Well, in the meantime, I was telling him how I got to rent a Trimble for this next project and blah, 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 and I hate renting Trimbles. And so he gave me an EOS Aero 100 GPS receiver. This thing picks up like, I think 6 or 7 different constellations of satellites. Just up in my office by sticking the antenna on this Anatom branded carbon fiber sweet tube. And you put the antenna right on top of there, and then you've got a cord that goes to this thing.
Yeah.
And then I just stuck it out the window of my office on the 3rd floor of this building here.
Yeah.
So I'm missing like half the sky, right, because the building's blocking it. But I was still getting, I think down to 30 centimeters accuracy.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah. And actually, the Aero 100, they guarantee 60 centimeters. So it's getting better than what they guarantee. Yeah, which is nice. And I think they only do that because they have other models that will guarantee, down lower, but you might not get that depending on what you're doing. But this is, I got 30 centimeters at one point, and this is only really certified to 60 centimeters, which is all I need. So, anyway.
Interesting. So does that Bluetooth to the antenna, or is it a physical hard?
It's physical cable to the antenna. So you can either cable off of this thing right here off the end. It's just got a regular little coax antenna cable there that's a little smaller than normal coax. So you can go from there to, let me pull it out. You go from there to this antenna. Now this antenna right now is currently mounted onto a thing that allows me to screw it onto this pole right here. So I can take that pole and then put that on a stadia rod if I want, like if I'm doing like an excavation or something like that. Because this pole also has threads on the bottom, so I can keep extending it. And I'm sure they've got different bases for it, so you can do stuff. But he also sent me this sweet backpack, and this backpack is made for these types of things because it's got a pole holder right on the side here, right on the side, and the pole goes right in there. And then they have a long, there go my headphones. I got too much junk here. Yeah. There's a long coaxial cable that connects to from this that's sitting in your backpack, because you don't need this out.
Yeah.
Sitting in your backpack up to the antenna.
Yeah.
So once you turn on something like Collector and you choose the antenna, because if you're using the device antenna, it knows how high it is off the ground because it just knows where it's at in space, right?
Oh.
But just like when you're using a Trimble, and you go in there and you can choose the height, you know, when you set up a new project, and most people set it at like 1 meter because they hold it at, say, waist high. If I'm using the backpack, it's probably going to be set the antenna at like 2.1 meters for me or so, give or take. I'd have to actually measure it and see what that equates to, but I think it's about 2.1, 2.2. Also, I can take that antenna puck off of the pole mounting thing, and he sent me this hat, and this hat branded Anatom Geomobile Solutions has a little pouch on top, and it's designed for holding that puck antenna. It's even got extra padding under here, so it's not like rubbing on your head all day. Yeah.
Oh, so when are you gonna get the knitted version?
My God, the knitted version. My wife's the knitter. So anyway, you don't need this out. This is not an antenna. I actually kind of didn't know that, to be honest. I thought this was the antenna. And so you've got the puck, you've got this just stowed away. He gave me a hip holster, so if I don't want to use the backpack, if I got my own pack or something.
Like most people.
Yeah, then I can just stick this in the hip holster or stick it in my own backpack. And then it's nice to have it out, though, because you can see all the lights, and the lights are giving you your GPS condition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's telling you that you have a full GPS signal. You've got differential GPS and this DGPS thing. I don't really understand all the lights quite yet. I'm learning that. And then you can check the battery indication here, too. You can also swap the battery out right here, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Because normally when I have a geode, I just like shove it in my pocket and like forget it's there.
Yeah, well, in that geode, is that thing the actual antenna?
So it's like the whole unit.
Yeah, so the only issue with that is depending on the accuracy of the point you need, if you need a super accurate point, it's actually taking it from your pocket.
I know.
You know, that's where the point is.
But I haven't taken a point yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go.
I've only used it to locate sites.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to take a super accurate point on something and I'm out in a wide open area, and let's say I'm using the hat-mounted one or something like that, I mean, I can literally just take this out and pull the antenna out and set it on the artifact, you know, and then I'm going to get a super accurate point right there.
Wait, so that doesn't necessarily need to be hooked up. Oh, wait, interesting. So you can hold your phone, and then you can hold your, you can have a grad student or like some like other like academic slave wear the hat and then like direct them. Yeah,
because it's Bluetooth to your device. So you don't need to be where the antenna is. Yeah, you can have an antenna monkey.
See? You just sit there with your beer, like on your phone.
You can sit in the truck in the air conditioning, and as long as you're within like 100 feet of them. Oh, Richie, you're cruel.
You know what's going to happen one day, though.
I know. I actually can't use that hat because the place I need to use it, well, at least the first place I need to use it, it's on mine.
Oh.
So I'll have the hard hat on.
Interesting, too. Oh, damn, you can't drill out. I guess you can never drill out a hard hat, but...
No, but you could probably Velcro a pouch to it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because they fasten stuff to hard hats all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they got like lights and stuff that hang off them and things like that. So there's no reason you couldn't do that. The one reason I probably will just stick with the backpack, or modify my own backpack to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Because I've got a flag tube that goes in my backpack, and I think if I just set this like zip tied this next to the flag tube or something, then I'd be okay.
Yeah.
You know, then I'd have both of them sitting right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, if I did that, then that would be okay, because even if you've got the head thing in, like the hat, you've got a cable running down. And it's going down to wherever that device is. But the way he had the cable configured in this backpack is the cable goes through, like you can snake it down or even zip tie it probably to the pole here, so it's not flopping all over the place. And then it just goes down through the water reservoir hole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say it's just like those computer backpacks with the integrated like charging cables.
Yeah, I guess kind of, except it's not really integrated. It's I
Yeah.
mean, you're using basically the water hole for the tube. Also, he sent me a brand new 2-liter Osprey water reservoir.
Neat.
Yeah, and a GeoMobile Anatom GeoMobile Solutions coffee mug, like a travel mug, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, super cool dude. And anybody who understands GIS will find this hilarious.
Yeah.
But he sent me a T-shirt that has the company name on the back. You can see that.
Yeah.
But then on the front, so you get your accuracy from your GPS devices. You get like a correctional accuracy from what's called WAS,
Yeah.
Wide Area Augmentation System.
Yeah.
So this is on the front. What's up? I mean, come on. Tell me that's not funny.
It depends.
It doesn't depend at all. That's hilarious.
Kind of like a video game last night where they were, God, what was it? They were referencing the F5 key,
Yeah.
saying, my ass must be refreshing.
Oh my God.
If
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
if you know,
Yeah.
Windows.
Yeah. Hey, I got a comment here because for some reason this wasn't scrolling up on me, but Ryan
Oh.
Scott said this is what he uses.
Oh, really?
And he said he's achieved sub-centimeter accuracy on
Wait,
the Aero
seriously?
Gold connected to an RTK base station on Catalina. So the Aero Gold is a
Ooh.
step up from this Aero 100
Yeah.
because they've got the Aero Light and then the Aero 100 and then the Aero Gold.
Yeah.
This one actually doesn't connect to RTK. So, but in a lot of cases, if you don't need that kind of accuracy, you don't need to connect to RTK.
Yeah, you're not making a building or anything.
No. And he says he modified his pack to mount the monopole, so that's pretty sweet.
Ooh.
Ryan, you really should send us a picture of that. That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Although, if your pack is like mine, it's already built to take a pole. Because mine is like meant to take ice,
Oh, like what,
Yeah.
hiking poles?
yeah, or ice picks. and
Oh, yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
So,
Mine's got like pouches on the side. My big pack does.
yeah,
And then it's got straps going up it.
yeah.
And I've put hiking poles there, but honestly, it's not really designed. Well, I guess it's kind of designed for it if you strap them in. Because the weird thing about my day pack, like my
Yeah.
hiking day pack, is, and it's kind of like a 2 or 3 day pack,
Yeah.
is it's got like a mesh pocket on the outside of either one, which is crap for
Ah.
putting stuff in like that because
Yeah.
it'll just like poke through it eventually.
Yeah.
But then you can actually go straight through on the inside of that, and it goes right down the side of the pack with no hole in the bottom of it. So you risk losing stuff out the bottom unless you fasten it to your pack really well. So it's kind of a weird thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I'm sitting at with that. I'm going to take the antenna
Yeah.
and the unit there to North Carolina with me. So I need to get familiar with it because when I get back from North Carolina, I'm pretty much headed straight to this project. And I need to have my data loaded up and understand how to collect data and do all those things because I've used Collector before, but it's been a really long time.
Oh, same here.
Yeah, so I need to, and I don't have a ArcGIS online account, but Matt's going to let me use his for this project. So,
Ah.
yeah. I want to explore, and if anybody knows, maybe Ryan, if there's any free applications out there that allow you to not only switch to the external antenna, but collect and submit shapefiles, or maybe not even free. I mean, maybe $5-10 a month or something like that, or a one-time fee or something. But Collector in ArcGIS Online is so expensive because they want you to do all the things, but I need to do like 2 things.
Well, I've got a few apps for that too. Unfortunately, I think they're all Android.
Yeah, and I've got a cheap Android tablet, but I don't think I want to bring it in the field. So
Because I definitely got I was using some of these apps down in Yuba.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, I mean, I was using some apps too, but I looked through them again because I thought maybe the setting didn't show up unless I had something connected.
Yeah.
But I Bluetoothed to this device, and I looked through some of the apps that are my go-tos for mapping, and couldn't find anything.
You can't turn off your iPhone's GPS?
Sure, I can turn it off.
Yeah.
That's a good question. If I turn off the GPS,
Yeah.
will it still be pulling coordinates?
No. Because that's the way the tablet I was using, the Samsung tablet was using.
No. Will it still be pulling coordinates from this? Is
No,
my question.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because, originally it was hooking it itself up. It was only getting, collecting GPS points from its own internal GPS.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to turn it off.
Okay.
And then it went through the whole, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Well, I'll have to play with that and see what happens. Maybe that will work.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, point is though, I mean, even if I can get that to work, I don't have a single app that'll let me take shapefiles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Because there's like at least a few on Android.
I mean, Avenza will kind of do it.
Yeah.
You know, but
it's not very finely detailed though.
No, and I really want to do it right. Like when I'm using my Trimble, I've got a data dictionary in there. I've got symbology, and I know you can do all that with ArcGIS Online. You know, you can create your own profile for collecting things, and that just, when you don't do that, it just takes so much longer in the back end to create your maps. You know, and when you do that in the field, though, when you create that data dictionary, so you've got symbology that you're putting in as you collect. I mean, then making a map is just a couple clicks.
Damn, it's too bad you couldn't like make an extension or like a plugin for WildNote that would do that.
Well, so WildNote is definitely in the you know, at least talking about stage for GIS information.
Yeah.
And we're pretty adamant that we don't want to reinvent the wheel on this. You know, we don't want to build into the application all this stuff if we don't have to. If we can partner with somebody that can build that segment for us, and then we can do all that within WildNote, and then the reason we would do that is A, to keep people from going to another application, which can cause problems when you're on a device, right, when you're going back and forth, but also to be able to attach the data that we are collecting. Like if you're collecting feature data and you want to take a picture, a couple pictures, write down a description, and then record the feature's GIS location, you know, record its outline or boundary or something like that, you should be able to do all that right in the same spot.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then when you export your site forms, you get site form data. When you export your maps, you get a map.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to be able to say, obviously export shapefiles as well, so you can put those into your GIS, but just like with the exporting of, say, the California DPR forms, I don't think people need to use Microsoft Word anymore or anything like that. You can do all of your editing within WildNote and then just export the forms when they're complete.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that for maps as well, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have to do anything to those maps. And the only reason you're going to want to export shapefiles, which is like the same reason we export, say, Excel files, is for archival purposes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think most of your reporting could be done in a single application. That's my goal anyway. I don't know if it's possible or not.
Oh man, too bad you just couldn't make it so that it's almost like Google Maps, where you could just click on it in the app, and then it'll take you to that page and that artifact description or something.
Right.
That's probably far in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. So I've heard from Ryan what he's using. Liz, I don't know if you've used anything or if you're still on.
Yeah.
Or Jeremy, I don't know if you guys are experimenting with non-Trimble GPS devices down there, or if you're even using non-Trimble digital data collection methods down there. It'd be interesting to find out. So, yeah. Anyway, so I think that was my major news for this recording. What else was I gonna say?
Oh, were you going to talk about MSHA or you know, our safety training yesterday?
God, I tried to push it out of my mind.
Same here.
Although I gotta say, a lot of times, you know, Richie and I both went to our 8-hour refresher training yesterday for MSHA.
Yeah.
If you don't know what MSHA is, count yourself lucky. It means you don't work on mines.
Yeah.
If you work on a mine, you need to have MSHA training, and it's free. Down for the state does it here in Nevada, which is nice. But it's called the 8-hour refresher, and it's supposed to be 8 hours of training every year, right? Like you're supposed to have the 24 when you first get it if you've never had MSHA before, and then you get the 8-hour refresher every year. What they don't tell you, and I'm going to tell you this because I don't care, do what you got to do, but they don't keep records on who's taken the training.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. They tell you that. Like, they tell you that specifically. They don't keep records on who's had the 24-hour. Because independent people can do that, right?
True.
You can get your certification to do the training and then just go to somebody's offices and give training, right?
Yeah.
You can charge whatever you want for it. And you know, they get their training and they get their form signed. But here's the thing. If you just walk into a refresher class, you'll also get your form.
That's true,
right? Because they don't make sure that you had the 24-hour. When I first went the first time, it was when I had left my last company, and I didn't have the slip that the company held. The company had all the slips. I didn't have any of them. Company had, it's like a 3-part thing, and they had all of them. And I was like, oh crap, I'm going to try to sneak in here and see if I can get my refresher because I don't want to take the 24-hour again. And then they just literally never checked to see if I'd even had the 24-hour.
No, well, they figure who would be crazy enough to voluntarily put themselves through an 8-hour refresher.
I know. Now, I will say there probably is some half-decent information in the 24-hour, but honestly, for archaeologists, I mean, really relatively little of the information in the 8 hours even relevant to us because we're not usually in a mine environment.
No.
It might be applicable if you happen to you have to drive across the actual active part of the mine one time. You know, you can be aware of some things, but it's just not something we experience a lot. You know, so I think the 8 hours is probably fine. Now the thing is, a lot of guys in the past, I mean, I'm not saying they skip through a lot of information, but they kind of do, and they shorten up some breaks sometimes, and they might shorten up lunch a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're usually out of there, 2:30, 3 o'clock? And it's supposed to go to 5?
Yeah.
We were there until, 4:30?
A little past it.
Yeah, man. But the guy, he's new, and I got to say, he wasn't bad.
No.
You know, he wasn't phoning it in yet. You know, a lot of the older guys, they're just like sitting down in the chair, you can't even see them, and they're just clicking away at slides.
Well, he also had to be lively for his student or whoever that lady was.
Yeah, I feel like she was somewhat judging him a little bit, you know, because I don't think she was a student. She's on equal footing.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if he was being evaluated or not, but she was just sitting in for some reason. She didn't even get her card, or her 5023. So, anyway,
Oh, man.
Shaw, it was great. Liz says she's not currently on any projects that require GPS, but is very happy to listen and talk about the arrows. Nice. So, yeah.
I had a thought, but no, it's all gone. Other than the fact that I'm amazed that I started up my car
Yeah?
Tuesday. Wait, that was yesterday. I started up Tuesday, got a new battery, and then, drove down 2 hours to Auburn and back.
Yeah.
I didn't even put fuel preservative in my gas tank.
How long has it been sitting?
Over a year, since like last March or April.
Nice.
The oil didn't even look dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that was a few of the tires were low on air and was slightly empty of coolant.
Nice.
But not that much.
Yeah.
Also, my God, I just realized that the thing I bought to jump it, every crew truck should have one.
Yeah?
Because it's also just a regular battery bank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's a 10,000 milliamp power bank.
There you go.
Yeah, and
Wait,
you can
10,000 milliamp, that's it?
or 10,000, whatever.
Yeah, because I've got a external battery for my phone that's 30,000 milliamps.
I got to look at it again. All I know is that it'll charge a car 20 times. It'll jump it 20 times.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so so I got to look at it again. I threw the box away immediately, but
Yeah. Nice.
And there's no writing on the outside.
Yeah.
Shoot, it had like it was like the middle unit because they had a little one,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had the middle one. That was the only one that's waterproof, by the way.
Okay.
That's the reason why I wanted it, because they have bigger ones, but then it's like, it's not waterproof.
Right.
Anyway, it's like a genius thing to have because you don't need someone to come get you or come give you a jump.
Yeah.
You just have your thing.
Yeah.
And I jumped my car 5 times already to get between starting it and getting the new battery, and not even down 1 click.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good safety device to have in the field trucks.
Yeah, see? I was thinking the same thing.
It's a really good thing for, like, wintertime, especially.
Yeah.
When it's hard starting sometimes.
Yeah.
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 Plus, people tend to leave lights on and things when it's darker.
Plus, how many times have you had a Trimble? Because I know some of the newer Trimbles, you can, just charge them up, without, like, the cradle.
Yeah.
How many times have you been out in the field and suddenly you're like, uh-oh, Trimble's dying.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds good. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, wait.
All right.
Oh, good. Oh, wow, it's almost time for your meeting.
Yeah, we got a podcast meeting coming up here shortly, so we're going to be cutting out on this early, but
Yeah.
it was good to talk about the GIS stuff. I'm really looking forward to playing with these things.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you need anything or even just have questions, look up Anatom Geomobile Field Solutions. Matt Alexander, he's a super cool dude.
And he's also open to just, like, chatting with you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I had somebody from WildNote that I know, who's a client of ours, ask me a question about, he asked me a question about an external GPS receiver.
Yeah.
And then he put it in the Archaeo Field Techs group as well on Facebook.
Ah.
And I was like, listen, go talk to this guy, Matt. And he called him, and they had a long chat about it. And I don't know what he ended up doing.
Yeah.
But he emailed me back the next day and was like, hey, super cool guy. Gave me a lot of information, and I like everything I've seen so far. So, again, I don't know what he ended up doing, but it's pretty neat. Because one of the cool things is, Matt's seen all the different things. He's played with all the stuff, and he's landed on the Arrow and a couple others or the EOS line and a couple others as like what they want to support.
Yeah.
And if you come in and say, yeah, but what about this thing? he'll give you his reasons for and against it. He's
Yeah.
not going to try to say one way or the other, but he's definitely tested all the things, the major players in the market. So
Yeah, but it's just like everyone wants. It's like, oh my god, I was thinking about this. I'm gonna relate it to like my journey with like high tech fabric and stuff, but with new gear. But how many people like look at something like the Bad Elf and it costs like what, $90, and they're like, why isn't this good enough?
yeah, totally.
It's just like, oh my god. I was thinking about it when I was buying new field gear because I did order a whole bunch of these. Wait, not sure if they can see these, but these new Under Armour high-tech fabric shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I read, every time it's interesting going on Facebook because, it's just such a terrible, it's like, it literally is like all the people who are like under 40 have left.
Yeah.
Because, you like see these ads and it'll be like, these pants are water repellent and moisture wicking and, they don't hold smells and they're stretchy and they're awesome and they look awesome.
Yeah.
And then you'll inevitably 1,000 comments like, who would pay like this much for these pants? Like you can go to the Walmart and buy pants for like $10 and it's like,
yeah.
And I'm like, I'd rather buy something once and never think about it again.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point. You buy quality and then, you have it forever.
Yeah.
So.
It also makes you realize, my God, so this is, it's like, when did we become the country of no? Just like, we've never been to space.
Mm-hmm.
The Earth is flat. No one should get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when did we become, like, are we going to become that country that, like, goes back to leeches at some point soon?
I think we probably will be. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, daily parades down, for the White House with all the tanks.
It's right about the time the show Handmaid's Tale on Hulu becomes a documentary.
It's like, how many tanks are going to be going down,
I don't know. I saw an article about that this morning, and they were actually having issues getting them there because a lot of the streets can't support the weight.
No.
And then some of the tanks were too tall for like underpasses when they're sitting on trailers.
Yeah.
For the overpass or whatever to go under.
Yeah.
And then like as they're making corners, they were worried about crushing sidewalks because they're not designed for that weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to happen.
Well, as soon as we get the most tremendous streets now DC is going to get the most tremendous streets ever seen anywhere.
That's right.
Or would they be tremendous, or would they be some other silly adjective?
I don't know, but when you're not a political power that does that kind of thing a lot, like run tanks through the streets, your streets aren't ready for it. It's like a friend of mine who's been on the Autobahn thousands of times.
Yeah.
He said that the Autobahn, they almost never have to repair it. They do minor repairs, but it's 6 feet thick concrete.
Yeah.
And he said, that was Hitler's deal.
Yeah.
Hitler built that and built all the big roads and highways in Germany. And I don't know if it was for the intention of driving tanks down them or not, but that's why he did.
Yeah.
And as a side benefit, you can run tanks down those roads and not destroy them. Again, I don't know what the impetus was behind that. They didn't even have vehicles that would really need that. Maybe they were, had some wacky engineers or something. I don't know what they were doing. So, anyway.
Plus, whatever happened to, speak softly but carry a big stick? Now it's the opposite.
Oh, in America for the longest time it's been whose stick is bigger.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's just like, carry a big stick but also speak really loudly. Like,
yeah.
Would Teddy Roosevelt even recognize this country?
Probably not. So, Liz says, nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
Nice to hear from you too, Liz.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be about it.
Yeah.
I got to go. We decided to do this a little late.
I know.
And Richie was in California. So I've got to go to a podcast meetup. And
in 10 minutes?
in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's up the street, so...
I might see you there.
Yeah.
It depends on how long you're there.
I know.
Because I'll definitely be in there.
I'm either going to be there for 5 minutes or an hour.
See.
One of those two things.
Huh.
So, all right, guys. Well,
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the comments. And have a great Independence Day, 4th of July, whatever you want to call it.
That's true.
Don't burn anything down. Don't start any forest fires, although it's kind of job security for archaeologists.
That's true, too.
No,
And firefighters.
I shouldn't say that. It's very dangerous. So,
That's true.
all right. Well, we'll see you later. 41 and a half minutes isn't that bad. That's what I've got on the clock here.
Oh, same here, I
So,
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
and we will see you next time.